Hey guys, welcome to this video. In today's episode, I'm going to be doing a bit of a van tour of my van, the wheels that I work out of every day. So just thought I'd show you around a bit and just give you a bit of an update, because I have done one of these before. You can look back through my channel and see one from the early days of when I last did one, not long after I got the van, and fair to say things have evolved a little bit since then, so I thought it might be worth doing a little update to see where it's all at. But I think it might be worth just rewinding it back a bit and just giving you a brief sort of overview of how it all started and where it is today. So anyway, let's jump into it. Okay, so the van is a Renault Traffic, and it's very dirty at the moment, but I thought I would just start on the roof. So when I got the van, it didn't have any roof rack or any provision for me to carry any sheets or plywood or plasterboard or timber on the roof, so I invested in a pretty good Tradesman Commercial Max roof rack. They fitted it for me at the factory, and it's got a wind deflector on the front there. You could also get it through these holes with rollers on the back, but I just thought that was an extra spend I didn't have to take on, so I didn't do it. And yeah, there's a load capacity of 150 kilos. So two things, I reckon I've gone well over that a few times and it's been quite fine. But I think it's just for a safety from a manufacturer's recommendation not to do that, but there's been times where I couldn't avoid it. The second thing is check bolt tension at regular intervals. Now, I've never done that. The rack's been on for, I don't know, the best part of, I'm going to say 10 or 11 months now, and haven't needed to do that. But as you can see, it's quite sturdy, so it's quite wide. It's full width, it's about 1400, maybe 1350 wide, and about 3 meters long. So I keep my 3.6 meter straight edge on there, just strapped on, and any timber just goes on the side of that. And on this side we got gifted from a friend a canopy which unzips and rolls right out this way to provide some respite from heat or rain or whatever. I will add that when it rains, you have to make sure you dry it out before you roll it back in, or not long after you roll it back in if you haven't got the option at that time, because otherwise it'll just go really moldy and will render the awning useless. So yeah, anyhow, that's that. So anyway, let's jump into the van. We'll start at the rear. So when I got the van, it was pretty much an empty shell. It had a set of metal shelves just here on the side, which I'll show you what I've done with later. The guy that I bought it off was a caulker, and it was just covered in caulk, and let me just zoom this out a little bit. It's better. Caulk and everything, so we had to jet wash the whole thing out the back and clean it all out, took the rubber mat out. And anyway, then these two drawers under here, exhibit A and B, came with the van. They're about 1300 long. So I put those at the back and then created a shelf, because there's two drawers on the other side that are a bit taller, higher than these ones. So because of that, I made myself some little sort of pockets there to insert things like spirit levels and things in. So I've got two 1200s and two 600s somewhere in there. They're at the back. And then on this side, I've just got my rafter square and my head for the vacuum cleaner. So that's that. So I made this platform and then carpeted it with this cheap carpet, which kind of makes it look a bit more sort of stealth, I guess. just doesn't look like timber, so I wanted to just keep it all as dark as I can in the inside, but I don't think that's really worked out because the idea at the start was to be able to hide everything away. As it turns out, and as is quite evident, that's not the case. So I've got a lot of stuff, I carry a lot of stuff, and yeah, I can only fit so much underneath this platform and on the side, which you'll see in a bit. So yes, so that's that. So anyhow, let's start from the bottom and go up. The two drawers to the left of that, just my demo tools like crowbar, demo hammer, breakers and things like that. And on the right side, I've got like hand saws and a bunch of power boards, leads, etc., etc. In the drawers, I've inserted, these are just all hand tools and things, so it goes quite a way back, but because I've only got one hand, it's going to be hard to pull it all out. So I've just got all my hand tools, and I try to organise it. I had this extra leftover decking, hardwood decking, that I just made these dividers out of that, and then I sort of kind of just try and divide it up and keep that all organised. It doesn't always stay that way, but you know, I do the best I can. And in the left drawer, there's just bolts, angle brackets, latches, bin bags or bin liners. There's this fly screen stuff, there's like framing stuff, bracing tensioners, triple grips, there's a couple of trowels there, gate brackets, and just random things in that one. So that's the drawers. On the right side, I carry sawhorses with me, and the feet of these were tearing up this carpet. So recently I just had this leftover ply and just put that in there so that it wouldn't just keep tearing it up. And as you can see, it's already like ripping it up in there anyway, but it just protects the carpet and gives it a bit more life, I suppose. So they just sit in there like that, and then this strap just holds it in place. Just my blower there, got a dustpan and brush, a large speed square, and just like some hand towels and quick clamp brackets on the top there hanging down, some more quick grip clamps there, collated nails in there, and I've got a fold out trolley. It's really good if you're on a site without good access. You can just load everything into the trolley without having to come back to the van 1,000 times to get all your tools. So that's that. The clamps are connected to a piece of structural flooring which I use to span across these to make an on-site table. So that's kind of handy, and I've just got some toggle clamps which hold those 1 and 2 down the end, which hold that in position there. And next to that is my drop saw stand, which holds in place with this little angle bracket I screwed to the flooring, and that works fine. And down the end there's a couple of sun hats down there. I recently added in that timber pocket up the top there. Let me just get in a bit closer. Just crawling through the van. And my two 1400mm tracks, which aren't in here at the moment because it's on lend to someone else, clamp in there, and then with this just clips up and holds it in place, so they're like elevated up out of the way. Some masonry spaghetti for fixing there. And I've done, as with the rails for the track saw here, I've done the same sort of thing with my 2-meter spirit level, which sort of inserts into a pocket in the van down the end there, and then the toggle clamp just holds it in place there. 3-step ladder on the side with some like hanging brackets on the side that I found in a hardware for $5. So absolutely custom made for this ladder on the side, and gets it up out of the way so it's not taking up valuable space down here on the flight deck. So then I've just got this €30 old timber wooden box that I had found in Europe when I was there in the last few years, and now that has now become my corking tube holder, corking gun. I put my expander foam gun in there too with some nozzles, and one trowel just made its way in there somehow. And then in this box, I don't know, it's just more random. There's some like cleaning cloths, got a massive roll of like hoop iron bracing, my drop cloth, drop sheet, and then in here it's just like a bunch of random stuff like decking tape or timber frame tape. There's like DPC, there's welding gloves, and I think underneath all that is some like door seals, like rubber door seals and brush door seals and things like that. So that's what goes in there. I found that box, so I think it was an old wine box or something. So I found that and I thought that would make a good, cool addition to the van. So that just all sort of lives there on the side like that. And that's kind of the back of the van. So yeah, I think that covers it. There are some other things that go in here, like this ladder, this fold-up ladder. There's this table saw stand that goes in there with the table saw, which when I load the table saw in, it's kind of quite big. So try and keep this clear so when I do need it, it's got a spot there, but I don't carry it all the time because it just wouldn't work. The track saw to go with the track saw tracks up there, that lives inside also, but I just take that to site on the days I need it because it's just, yeah, it just takes up too much room otherwise. Got some floppy buckets there for some, use them as bins. And there's just like some shovels if I need them. These are just some things I bought recently, just some new like silicons and stuff that I need. And that's just some bolts for a job. I just took them out for the purposes of this video. So yeah, so that's the back. What I also did was I put this aluminium angle on here too, which offers a bit of protection for anything that I pull in and out from the flooring. So yeah, seems to work quite well. Anyway, let's look at the side and I'll show you what I mean when I said earlier about these two other drawers. So these drawers are a bit shorter. I think they're 700 deep, because you'll see on the other side I couldn't allow them to be too deep because it would have affected things on the other side. So there's all this thinking, you know, brain buster kind of stuff that you have to do, that I had to do to make it all work. So as you can see, these are higher, and this platform doesn't have a little pocket in there for things. So this sort of governed, when I bought these, this sort of governed the height of the actual platform, which created that pocket, those two pockets that you saw down the other end. So in a way it kind of worked really well, that I was able to get those two pockets, because otherwise I would have been left with the dilemma of where to put levels. So this, I had to pack it up a little bit because I wanted to make room for a plaster square and a broom, which works quite well underneath there. So anyway, again, we'll work from the bottom up to the flight deck. So in the left drawer, we have my hand tools. So all these battery holders with Milwaukee, they just screwed them to the side. And then there's some Makita stuff. So there's certain Makita tools I like and certain Milwaukee tools I like. But as time's gone by, I've kind of like leaned towards more battery tools because they're just much more portable. You don't always have power at your disposal as long as you've got a charged battery. So yeah, in here there's just a lot of random stuff. There's screw gun, a saber saw, fixing nailer, there's like a hammer drill, jigsaw, multi-tool renovator, there's the grinder, angle grinder, it's a Paslow battery charger too. There's a rapid charge Milwaukee there, and I've got another one that's on loan to a friend with two batteries, and this is the double Milwaukee charger. So that's kind of it. I've got some sanding pads in there as well for the orbital sander, which, as we go to the right side drawer, is there. So in this drawer there's just the battery Makita sander, planer. My favorite tool, the electric DeWalt power saw. Then I got my Milwaukee battery one, the orbital sander, Formula One gun, amazing power. And then just the 2 drills, a rattle gun and just a normal drill, and then the brad nailer and the frame are there. And that's kind of that, really. So right jaw complete, and then we move up to the flight deck, or the upper deck, or the first class area. And I've just recently added this in because this was like, this area here was a big like mess full of just rubbish and stuff that I just used to throw in there. So I needed to get some organization into the area. So bought this, was like $100, this drawer, screwed it down to the flight deck. And then inside is a stud finder. There's like multi-tool blades in there by the dozens and dozens. Then there's like a tripod for filming. There's a rain jacket. There's a lantern. There's batteries. In this tin, there's like all my straps, ratchet straps, ropes, hockey straps, grunt straps, every time up a strap. Down the left side, there's my 30-meter tape wheel. There's like cedar blocks which are used for strapping sheets to the roof. I've got rags, cloths, and just some like, yeah, towels, like hand towels and stuff like that. So yeah, just general knick-knack stuff that I use sort of most days and need sort of easy access to. And above that, there is framing nails. Got the vacuum, which is pretty common, keeping the sites nice and clean. And then on here, I've got my 2 guides, circular saw guides, and from them I hang 1 dust mask, and then I've got just for the mouth, and then I've got the full face mask for the face. So I've got the option of both of those. So they just hang off there, and then if I can get it on there, and then from there I just hang earmuffs. So that's that. There's the sun hats that I was talking about earlier. A close up of the pocket I made out of the ply for that, and I think that's kind of it. So that's for that section. Now this section, I've got my nail bag hanging up here, which is another video in itself. But just let me for a second take that down. It's just a bit of spare. This is just some stuff that I've got there because I'm working on a job using that at the moment. They're just decking clips. But under here is my secret little trapdoor, which kind of is good, but kind of is a bit prohibitive when the van's loaded up with a lot of stuff and you need to access that. So you got to move everything out just to get to that. Anyhow, could be worse. So it's just a finger hole in there, and that just pulls up, and inside is the following. So 2 glass suckers or window suckers, helps for lifting heavy window frames or doors, sucks onto the glass, and away you go. In this box is all of my router bits, spanners and everything like that. And in this box is my Makita, don't take any notice of that, is my Makita line trimmer or router, battery operated. So in there, and then underneath there are the big grunt ratchet straps, which I don't really use that often at the moment. So, but they're there if I need them, and they're not in the way. It just falls down in there like that. That stays there, and that just closes like that. And then that hangs up there like that, and that hangs up there like that, and they go back in place, and then we're ready for a day of work. So yeah, so that's that side of the van. Yeah, okay, so we've got 2 down, 1 side to go. Oh God, here we go. this is the side I need to sort out. So I'm definitely up for any suggestions, any ideas, any inspiration, any magic that you guys can come up with to tell me how I can sort this out. Anyway, as I said at the start of the video, this is the metal shelving unit, which is adjustable, mind you, via those holes, which I have used, that I did adjust once I changed it from that other wall around there, and I flipped it and put it in this door, and then I put this like frosted glazing laminate on the glass on the inside, just for some security and privacy. Not that the screws needed privacy, but you know, just for my security from prying eyes. So yeah, this was how it was. So starting from the bottom, the drop saw goes with the stand inside, and underneath that I've got a tin full of all my masonry bits for masonry and brick drilling. So that's that. Then next to that, there is in here a Makita box full of all backup drill bits and everything. In that box is all like rare silicons and caulking sort of stuff, liquid nails, and yeah, just different coloured corks, things like that I don't always use, but if I do need it, it's sort of like my stockpile. And then in there is all my packing shims, everything like that. So that's kind of that side. Milwaukee radio. And then I have 2 soft kneeling pads. Then I've got a spare cork gun and a spare sausage gun and some actual more hoop iron in there I didn't even know I had. So there you go. Look at that, bam. Score. So that's that. So they can go back in there like that. They just tuck in there nicely. Hanging up on the side is a 16mm 380 mil, 16mm diameter 380mm auger bit, and then some shorter 25mm auger, got a 20mm auger, and then an 18mm auger. Just hang there because they're just out of the way and good there. Now I've got 2 sets of aluminium colour samples for aluminium doors and windows, so I can show clients whatever colour, in this case ironstone. But yeah, there's a bunch of different colours there, and they're all just nice and conveniently tucked and hanging on the hook there. So I digress. The second shelf up, I've got 2 sets of chisels, Stanley Fatmax and the Irwin set, and then these are Allen keys, bushes for drop saw blades. They just sit in there like that. And then across here, decking spaces. And I've got like just random stuff, builder's bog, cable ties, my Japanese saw at the back there, and then my tripod and laser level in there too. As we come up another level, this is like all my fixings, things like that. Now the problem with this shelf is that it's hard to get what I need without moving a lot of other things to get to it, if that makes sense. So if I want to get like, I don't know, something right deep in there, I have to move all these boxes to get to it. Like, they all organised, but it's just not like a case of sliding out a drawer and just taking what you need and walking off. And I don't really like that, but I'm just trying to justify the spend of, you know, a drawer system that will allow me to save like 7.36 seconds that it takes me to actually like take those boxes out to get the screws or the nails that I need. Anyway, this is the position we're in, so hence why I was asking if you have any inspiration or ideas. I'd love to hear how I could possibly improve this. But I did buy these 5 cases, and these are all just like compartmentalized in different screws. So I've got like one for wood screws mainly, and then there's one for metal screws, and then there's one for nails, and then there's, and so on and so forth. These are hole saw bits. They're just like random like screwdriver bits that are rare. sandpaper. These, in this old ammunition box, there's all my cutting, like my grinder wheels, saber saw blades, jigsaw blades, just things like that, things to do with grinders and jigsaws and saber saws, more or less. So that's in there. And at the back's just random fixings and like cable like stays and things like that, sockets and all that sort of stuff. So I've got like deck screws, brad nails, batten screws at different lengths, hinges, a random box of like, you know, mixed screws and that sort of that. So yeah, that's where it's at. It's kind of, I don't know, working out of it. It's a bit of a pain, but it kind of might look a bit organized. I don't know. That's why I love to hear your thoughts. So let me know in the comments. Anyway, let's keep moving up to the top deck. And this is, yeah, again, a bit of a mess. Firstly, on the right, we've got some textures and touch-up sprays. We've got WD-40, methylated spirits, marking spray, and just things like that. I bought these little like holders for all my drill driver bits. That just sits in there. It's magnetized actually to the bottom of that, which is quite good. Again, off the internet, the wonderful world of the internet, I bought this holder for all of the drill bits, so I can just walk up and just, instead of rummaging through a little tin for the bit I need. Over time, I've compiled quite a few different kinds of bits, drill bits. So this just makes it easier to walk up and say, bam, I need that one, and I just take that one. So that's what I do. So that's that. So it just sits in there like that, which has been quite a handy little purchase, I will say. In front of that is all my sockets for the ratchet. So that they just live all there, and I just use them as I need. These are my deep sockets on the same sort of system with these little like prongs. It just sits on there, and that's for the Formula 1 gun, that big like high impact torque gun that I was showing you on the other side in the drawers. So they are for that. And then in this one I got my like chalk for my chalk box. And then there's glues, there's pencils, there's like putties and all that sort of stuff there. Got Chemset nozzles, and I've got polyurethane nozzles in there, and then just random like tape, string line, in there, and then the door pump wedges hanging on the back there. Up the top, hidden out of view and sight and out of the way, which is good, is my drop saw bag, which is like a Hessian canvas cover that protects my drop saw on days where it is raining. So yeah, that's that. I think that just about covers it. So the idea I had was to buy like, say, like a drawer system or a Milwaukee pack-out drawer, which you can get in 4-drawer units these days, and just somehow modify this so I can stack 2 on, and I'd have 8 drawers, and then I could transfer all this, maybe some of this stuff to those drawers, and then it would just completely tidy that up. But it's just like whether or not I can raise this and sit the drawers 1, 2, or if I can remove that top drawer and sit the drawers 1, 2, and then just, I don't know, I'm just sort of playing around with some ideas. So I think that just about covers the van. I'm not going to show you the front because it's not worth seeing, and that's not part of the tour. There's nothing really to show anyway, so that's what I'm not going to do. But yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of it, really. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope maybe this was able to provide you with some ideas of what you might be able to do if you're setting up your van, or maybe you can provide me with some ideas, some improvements of what might make my van better. But you know, for now, this is what I work out of every day. It kind of works pretty well considering the amount of stuff that I carry. I like to carry a lot of stuff because if it means I don't have to go and run around buying more things and wasting time doing that instead of being, you know, efficient on site, that's why I like to carry a lot of stuff. So that's what I do, and that's why I've got a lot of stuff. So like I said, I don't have the table saw or the tracksaw in there all the time, but I know that I don't need them every day. So, but the other stuff, I kind of, you never know, you might need them, you may not need them. So I just rather have as much as I can carry on a daily basis. That's it. So anyway, ramble over. I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, give me a thumbs up, give me a follow, that'd be much appreciated. And as I said 100 times, comment, leave me a comment, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and we'll catch up in the next one. Bye for now.